Shut up and sit down.
Welcome to the Realest Guys podcast. I'm your host this week, Josh Too Good, and on my left I have Mario the Wolverine.
What up?
Holla. And also this week we are introducing our third man, and I'm pretty excited for this. Get another voice in the mix.
It does feel a little cramped, don't
it? It does.
Might need to upgrade the space.
Hopefully, that would be awesome. That would be awesome. I think this space works just fine for now, and I'm saying that because it's your house. so I don't mind it here. That was actually a compliment to you.
Oh, I thought you were saying, it's your house. Like,
no, not at all. So, moving on. Yeah, so we got a third man here. You probably heard his voice just now talking in the background. It's Kyle Sly. That's what we call him. We call him Sly Sylvester.
What up, guys?
Want to
they can't see everybody.
If we were on video right now, again,
that's been your statement for the last 3 weeks. If we were on camera,
I'm putting plugs in there.
Fair.
There's things that may be coming down the road. I'm just saying.
That's
down the road.
So I'm excited for this episode. Again, Realest Guys podcast. I'll just go down the list really quick. You can find us on Facebook, Realest Guys PC. Find us on Twitter, Realest Guys PC. Follow us. You can subscribe on YouTube. Subscribe on iTunes, SoundCloud, Stitcher, wherever we might be. We will be there. And go ahead and subscribe and listen. And if you don't subscribe and you don't follow, we only have, there's only one word to describe it, and we're going to spell it out for you. SAWFT. Soft. Yeah. All right, so let's get into it. We're going to break down Raw.
Yep.
And
another filler episode.
Another filler.
Wasn't as bad as last week, though.
No. I mean, I think it flowed better. This week.
There were definitely some matches in there that I was entertained by.
Yeah.
Fair.
Absolutely. So it wasn't like the bad filler cream cheese. You know what I'm saying? Like cream cheese filling.
So it was more like lox and cream cheese.
Lox. I don't know what that is.
You don't know lox? Like the thin little salmon pieces that they put in the cream cheese?
Oh, fair enough. Yeah, sure. So it wasn't like pickles and Cheetos like last week.
Oh, dude.
Exactly. So this week was a little bit better. So we opened up with the Battle Royal to determine the number one contender for the IC title. Darren Young took the W. Mario, what's your thoughts on that match?
I honestly thought Terry Crews was going to win because he was the only one to get the
Titus O'Neil.
I'm sorry, Titus O'Neil. Shelton Benjamin.
Bobby
Lashley. Apollo Crews.
Are you pulling the JBL?
What?
Is he pulling the JBL right now?
I think he might be pulling the JBL.
No, seriously. I honestly thought that Apollo Crews was going to win that match just because he was the only one to get a televised intro. So I was like, that was my first note taken was Apollo Crews' victory. And then, truthfully, I thought it was a botch. Just based on Apollo's reaction, Darren Young's face kind of told a story that I didn't think he was that good of an actor. He was genuinely surprised. But, it was a good match. It is what it is. It's a battle royal. You're going to get a bunch of people going over. I mean, the first commercial broke in 6 minutes into the show. There was 30 guys, and then we come back from commercial, and there's 6 left. So, I mean, it is what it is at that point,
Yeah.
So you have the really good scene right there of the Uso brothers, though.
That's
first time they've really been seen on TV in a while outside of the singles match. And they're like going at each other, which you get a little bit in every Battle Royal Rumble that they're in together. They have this nice brotherly feud, and I enjoyed that. But yeah, Apollo Crews getting the live intro. I thought for sure he was going to win it. I thought they did Baron Corbin really well.
Yep.
They played him off big. They're using their young stars in a way that we haven't seen them use them yet. So I'm excited about that.
Yeah, it was really cool, and I like you said, I like how they did with Baron Corbin. They made him look unstoppable in the match, and his elimination too. They didn't make it seem like he was weak at all. It was more of
Well, even commentary built him up a little bit, saying let's not forget, he won the armbar at WrestleMania. He made sure that the trophy was out there to intimidate his fellow competitors. I mean, they did a good job of building him up.
Make Darren Young great again. So Darren Young took the W, and we move on. There's a backstage segment with Stephanie, Shane McMahon was talking. Seth Rollins comes up and says he has some news, some unseen footage. Yeah, exactly. And which we'll find the Rollins report, and we'll get into that a little bit later. Backstage, we had the Zack Ryder segment. Yeah. No one cares. Sheamus defeated Zack Ryder. No one cares.
50-50 booking.
There's only one thing that kind of weirded me out about that is Sheamus went over clean on Zack Ryder, and it was kind of a squash match. It's kind of weird to do that for somebody that's going to be competing for a title in the coming weeks.
I mean, it's 50-50 booking. It's WWE doing what it always does when it's not trying to advance the story. Not even not trying to advance the story, but just not sure what direction to take the character. Sheamus has been back, and he did the League of Nations. He hasn't really done much outside of that, and it's one of those things where it's like whatever,
Yeah.
Yeah, I just think so. Ryder's got this huge fan base, internet fan base. He's the internet champion, all of that, and he's going into the U.S. title match against Rusev. So he's been on a hot streak with wins. It doesn't really make sense to me right now to give him that weakness, that loss going into that match against Rusev.
Yeah, it's very strange booking. I was thinking if they were going to give him the W, make it or if they were going to make him look weak, have somebody interfere, like Rusev come and interfere. Not Sheamus destroy him in the match, pin him clean, and then Rusev come out and beat him up some more, reminding everybody that, hey, we don't like Zack Ryder.
I can't remember what the commentary was too much, but did they even play up at all the backstage attack at all? I know Ryder was selling his arm and wrist area, but I don't know the commentary necessarily.
They did at one point, I think, said something about this on top of the punishment he took backstage, but it was really nonchalant, just quick plug.
Gotcha.
So Sheamus destroyed Ryder, the number one contender for the title. U.S. title. So next, moving on, we have Tyler Breeze and Fandango. Breezango. But we like
Febreze better.
We do like Febreze.
I love Febreze.
But for trademark and copyright purposes, that can't be used.
Well, I mean, Febreze, because it would be...
It's still...
What about Fabrize? Because they're fabulously Fandango and Tyler Breeze. So it's Fabrize.
Yeah, you're just making a Fad Breeze now, too?
Fad
Breeze, because it's Fandango, Fad Breeze.
No, it's Fad Breeze, because they're fabulous.
Fan Breeze. No. Okay.
Okay, yeah.
So anyway, they beat
We just spent more time on their story than the WWE has spent on last night.
So yeah, they defeated the Lucha Dragons. I know we're going through the episode really fast, but again, it was.
It was a quick match anyway.
It was
that super kick to Kalisto in the turnbuckle.
That
was one of the sickest things in the match.
He shoved his head. He said,
"Tucked it real nice.
I'm going to tug it real nice and make sure it's right there." And boom, kicked him in the face.
Yeah.
I wish they got a better angle though, because it looked like his head was right up against the turnbuckle, which would have sandwiched it between the foot and the turnbuckle.
I look forward to the future with Kalisto and Tyler Breeze. I look forward to more of their matches together.
Yeah, I'm hoping the brand split does some stuff for Tyler.
Yeah. And moving on, one of my favorite segments of the night. It was at the expense of my boy Roman Reigns. But, man, this was such a good segment. Seth Rollins with the Rollins Report. Kyle, what are your thoughts?
I mean, Seth Rollins is what Roman Reigns is not. He's a great talker. So he talks up the Rollins Report, and then he gives us this duct-taped together film reel of a bunch of old interviews with Roman Reigns, and it was one of my highlights of the night, just because it made me think of old school wrestlers, the way they would take things and piece them together to make the story they wanted to show, and it was beautiful, and it was everything that Roman could never do. So it's great that he's out right now.
Yeah. The best thing to happen to this story was Roman taking a back seat via suspension, and even he's not just even taking a back seat because he's still pretty much centralizing the story. They're doing a great job of still making sure you're aware of him. What I love the most about the segment is the callback you and I have talked a lot, Josh, about when WWE remembers its history and kind of calls back and alludes back to it. The fact that when he first spoke to the McMahon's backstage, Rollins, and told him, "Hey, I don't know if you remember, but I covered for John Stewart on the Daily Show," and he kind of rips off or parodies that intro for the Rollins report. I thought that was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
On top of that, and this is me putting my tinfoil hat on for a second, you guys notice the background? Raw was red, Roman, blue, Seth Rollins smacked. I'm just saying. Maybe there's some signs there. I don't know if y'all have picked up on that, but stuff like that. I love the callback to stuff like that, and it reminded me a lot. You talked about the older superstars. When Kurt Angle and The Rock had one just like that, and that was awesome. And this played out fantastically. It was real funny. It did what it was supposed to do.
Yeah.
It put some heat back on Roman.
Well, one thing that I did notice, I don't know if you guys did, if you watched it live or watched on DVR or Hulu Plus, there was a commercial for USA before this segment. It had Roman Reigns in it talking about how he fights for everything that he has. He's a stand-up, pretty much building Roman Reigns up as this stand-up role model figure and to never give up, and I fight, all this sort of stuff.
Never give up. Is he finally becoming John Cena?
What? I think he already has. No, I'm just kidding. No, but I just thought that was hilarious. I think that was planned, obviously, because they want people to remind people that he's Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
And he's not a bad guy, not a good guy, the guy. They still want him to be that face.
That was the other thing. The not a bad guy, not a good guy. If you guys noticed at the bottom when it kept popping up his name, Roman Reigns, the first one was 3-time WWE champ with an asterisk on it. Right? The second one was not a good guy, not a bad guy, the suspended guy. Yeah, it was just the attention to detail they put for that video was funny.
I got to go back and watch it.
You have to watch it. It's pretty funny.
Oh
every time his name popped up on the lower left-hand side of the screen, it was a different, mocking and condescending title. But outside of that, when Dean came out later on in this segment, dude, I've never been more higher on Dean after that promo. I mean, he came out and he spit real talk. Dean was on fire.
Yeah.
On fire with his words. And, I'm hoping that, regardless of what happens at Battlegrounds, I'm hoping we actually get a legitimate feud between Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose.
Yeah. I look forward to it, and they're obviously the future of the company.
Yeah.
Seth Rollins has just cemented himself as that. I mean, you look at the guy is amazing in all categories. So, I mean, he's great.
Well, I mean, if you look back, go ahead.
Just on your point in Dean's promo, he looked strong, which he hasn't looked in the past couple of weeks.
Yeah.
We've had a champion who's looked weak as a champion. He's fought The Miz, and The Miz went toe-to-toe with him, and then he got lucky with the Dirty Deeds.
Yep.
And he's had these kind of areas where he's looked weak, and he hasn't looked like that champion figure we have. There in that promo, him taking and forget the triple threat. I'll take you anytime, anywhere, let's go. And then making Rollins start backpedaling and get out of the ring. And that he looked strong, and that's something I've wanted out of Dean Ambrose as champion.
Yeah. Now, I stated last week, I haven't been completely sold on Dean Ambrose, and I definitely think that promo he did in that segment definitely put us a step in the right direction. Now, I'm not fully in the same boat, because I do know that some points in the last few weeks, Dean Ambrose stood tall. He's been Dirty Deeds and everybody in the building. So they haven't really booked him weak, outside of matches or anything like that. But I really haven't been sold completely on him as champ. But I think last night's promo helped. So then that's just, of course, my opinion. We get to that point where Sami Zayn is not allowed at the down on ringside, all that.
Because Kevin Owens is bae.
I hate that word. I hate it.
No, but seriously, you give the man props. That was pretty funny. Not just funny, but smart. Hostile work environment. His opponent at the next pay-per-view is sitting ringside.
Yeah.
It was clever. It was a good heel move.
It was. It was.
But give Sami Zayn credit. As they're crossing each other on the ramp,
that was funny.
Sami Zayn pulls a very Kevin Owens-esque attack. And he gets to the point where you feel it in just watching, you feel the build up going into this pay-per-view of, oh, this could be the last match.
Man, I'm so excited
They're
for
going
this match.
Yeah, I'm
to
looking
town.
forward. I'm totally looking forward to this
So
match.
excited for this match.
Moving on, we'll go to the next part because we do have a Realest Guys mock draft, Realest Guys podcast mock draft. That is a little bit later. So, Vince McMahon arrived. Now, the next segment was probably my least favorite segment.
Would you say they should have deleted this segment?
I would agree. I would agree. Honestly, I didn't even watch the final deletion for TNA, but I've seen clips, and just seeing that, I'm like, I looked at this, and okay, I'm just gonna say this. That was one of the most difficult things to watch physically, not because it was bad, like choreography or anything like that. Literally, my eyes were hurting watching this thing with the camera shaking so much. It's really dark. I just couldn't focus, and the whole story was weird too. The whole setup. I mean, just what are your thoughts, Mario?
Honestly, with the exception of the hard camera cuts the way they were doing, the shaky cam, I enjoyed it. I liked it. I liked it a lot better than the final deletion, because whereas the final deletion was a lot more campy in its approach, and it didn't take itself at all seriously. The New Day visiting the compound. I don't know. I just felt like it built up more Bray in terms of just how terrifying he can be. But Braun Strowman came out looking strong, man.
Yeah.
He put his body through a windshield, which was pretty dope. That was a nice image, and even him. Again, it was a little campy, but him grabbing the tire out the back and slamming it on the ground, I mean, it was pretty awesome. I enjoyed it. I just didn't like the cinematic behind it.
Yeah, I think if there weren't those shaking so much, I probably would have enjoyed it a little bit more.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts, Kyle?
I enjoyed it as well. Other than, anytime that you have the hard cuts on screen, it's going to throw your eyes. But I enjoyed it as well. I thought that they missed a big opportunity with Xavier Woods reconnecting with New Day before they all bailed. Mm-hmm. I think they've been building up this Xavier Woods Wyatt story a lot, and obviously New Day Wyatt family, but more than just New Day Wyatt family, Xavier Woods has some sort of connection, some sort of fear that the other New Day members don't have.
Yeah.
So when they abducted Xavier Woods and threw him in the car, I thought that was going to be the last time we saw Xavier Woods with the New Day until.
I totally agree.
I thought that was going to be some sort of that was going to be something that took on after this. But then you have Xavier Woods just popping back up out of nowhere with the hubcap that he started beating people with.
Bray Wyatt was like, "Where'd you go?" Because he threw him in the car, and Xavier escaped the car. So Bray Wyatt was saying, "Where'd you go?" He was really calling out to him. But I would agree. I would say that here's my thought of how I think it could have gone: is Bray Wyatt gets Xavier Woods by the tree, destroys him, right, and then you see Xavier Woods' pretty much lifeless body laying on the ground there. And then Bray Wyatt picks him up, carries him on the shoulder, and then I think cutting to a scene where it's
boat.
You see a bunch of the Wyatt family either slowly back away or something like that, into the darkness, to where the last thing that you see is Big E and Kofi Kingston standing in the rain and the mud by themselves, wondering where everybody's at. And then, boom, where's Xavier Woods? Where's Bray Wyatt? I think that would have been a good way.
That would have been a good ending.
That would have been great.
I just didn't like, and this goes back to the camera cuts. I mean, you completely missed the fact that Xavier left the car with the cuts, which is why when Bray started attacking the window and the windshield of that car, I was like, what is? You threw him in there. Why are you breaking the window?
Right.
Why don't you jump in the other seat and drive away? That was my... And then later when he comes back, like you said, with the hubcap, I was like, oh, okay, he escaped. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. But again, the cinematography behind it just put me off on it. Other than that, I think it told a great story.
Two other things that I saw in that story that I thought were great. You see you see something raw and serious out of the New Day that you've not seen yet, and that if you're going to really do a feud up with the Wyatt family, they're going to have to be able to pull that side out of them a little bit more and more. So that serious side of even Biggie and Kofi at that point, they were serious. There was no more playing around. And then just the magnitude that was spoken in the lanterns being held up in the darkness. This idea that Bray Wyatt has this huge, massive following.
And shout out to CGI
that he could bring out at any time. Yeah,
that was really it was that part was pretty cool. Then we got Kevin Owens against Cesaro. Kevin Owens, and so they've competed before. Pretty much, it's going to be a solid match. It was a great match.
It was.
There was nothing too surprising from it for me.
They broke out a new move.
He did, and he won.
And he won with it. So that was pretty cool. So I'm not sure if they're necessarily phasing out the pop-up powerbomb, or if they're trying to add a second maneuver that he can, almost like a signature instead.
Yeah.
But it was pretty cool.
I think they might be adding an additional signature or finisher to him, because sometimes you might either he won't be able to, due to injury or something, not able to do that other move, or due to his partner in that match won't be able to pop up high enough.
Well, I mean, Mark Henry last week.
However, not everybody's going to be Mark Henry. He might come across. So in events where pop-up powerbomb's not an option, this other move might be good. But I don't want to spend... There's not too much that...
Sami Zayn
Sami Zayn did pop out, and then he got the big swing on him. Cesaro did at the end. Then you have...
Too Sweet.
Yeah, that's right. You had the club backstage. Carl Anderson, Luke Gallows, AJ Styles. There are, of course, Maki John Cena and all them.
They're going to the ESPYs to beat up John Cena.
That's right. Hashtag
beat up
John Cena. That's right. We kind of failed on that, guys.
I was there with you.
Yeah,
I was there.
Okay, let's try it on the count. 1, 2, 3. To beat up John Cena.
Beat up John Cena. Sorry. I'm sorry.
Okay, let's do it again. Count 3. 1, 2, 3. To beat up John Cena.
Oh.
Hello. Too sweet. Okay, so anyway, that was that. The next match, Titus O'Neil looked like a monster in this squash match, defeating Heath Slater.
I cried a little.
You cried?
I was thinking back to the times of Slater Gator.
Yeah.
Slater did get some pretty good moves on him, though.
I was actually shocked, yeah.
He did.
Titus O'Neil, new outcast. Somebody's got to take over the party from Adam Rose.
No.
Nobody can fill those boots.
No, yeah, they made him look like a beast. Which I'm glad. I like Titus O'Neil. Finally, not finally, but the next match, we got our boys Enzo and Big Cass.
Bada boom.
How you doing? Against, I'm just kidding. It was Enzo against
it was
Anderson.
It was Enzo and Cass against
it was the tag.
Was it a tag match?
Yeah, it was a tag match.
It was the club versus Enzo and Cass.
Oh, that's right. Okay, great. See, I'm kind of getting lost in the last few weeks of kind of similar matches.
Everything's just, again, we talked about it ad nauseum. It's just filler. We're just getting by to finally next week Tuesday. I mean, that's all it is. We're just chipping away. But, I mean, this match, it was a good back and forth match. Crowd was entertained throughout. They did the spot where, what's his name? Enzo gets thrown out the ring again, and he's kind of woozy. And my favorite was AJ Styles. Why you always sleeping? Why you sleeping? Like, I thought that was funny. That was a shot. You take out Big Cass, and you get the sympathy now on Enzo. They win via disqualification, and now we see a 3-on-1 maybe beat down on Enzo.
Maybe.
But then the trumpets, they go, and you have John Cena come out.
That was terrible. That was awful. John Cena comes to the rescue. No one thought he was in the building. I think they did actually a good job of selling him not being in the building.
Yeah.
I think we talked about it earlier. He got a huge pop when he came out, and I think part of the pop was he came to save Enzo and Cass. That's everybody's favorite right now.
Yep.
And then the other part of the pop is nobody thought he was there. They did a good job making you believe he was in LA getting ready for the ESPYs. Nobody thinks he's there. So when he does show up, it's like, oh my gosh, this is the moment.
It's John Cena.
But the match was the highlight of the night for me. The match was great. And that same moment you're talking about, when Enzo gets thrown out of the ring, they pan over to Big Cass, and you see the intensity on his face, and you're like, oh, as soon as he gets in, like,
I think
it's about to go down.
Cass is going to have a rocket strapped to his back after this brand split. Cass is going to, I think everything that went on with Roman, and yeah, you're still going to have the Shield, and Roman's still going to be there, but I think Cass is going to be up there a lot quicker than people expected. He's got the size. He doesn't quite have the look yet. He needs to get a little bit more tone, in my opinion. I mean, I'm a big guy anyway, but for what Vince McMahon looks for, I think he needs to get a little more tone, but he's going to be up there quicker.
Yeah, and the thing that people don't see from him in the main roster as much is that he's not the talker, because Enzo is great on the mic. But if you ever watch any of their early NXT stuff, Enzo was a hype man, and Cass was the talker.
Yeah, but I mean,
he had some great promos in NXT, and then you saw it a little bit
last night, because he did most of the talking in that promo last night, which was awesome, which was a refreshing change of pace. Not saying I'm getting tired of Enzo talking, because I can listen to that man spit the presidents in order every single day, every time I wake up. But it was a nice change of pace to hear Cass get a little more mic time.
It was, indeed. So next match was probably the biggest upset in wrestling history. Sasha Banks defeated Dana Brooke.
I honestly, you've got Razor Ramon against Shawn Michaels, WrestleMania 10. You've got Brock Lesnar against The Undertaker, WrestleMania 30. Everybody remembers where they're at when they were watching those matches. I will forever remember where I was when I saw Sasha beat Dana.
Yeah, my jaw just dropped.
It was horrible. I felt like I lost my childhood.
Yeah, Sasha beat Dana next. All right. Finally, we have...
Before we go there, can we just touch really quickly on the fact that we had a women's match main event Raw? You want to touch on that? I mean, it was Sasha. It was just Sasha and Dana. I get that, but we've had 3 times in the past where a women's match is main event at Raw. Again, like I said, Sasha and Dana. Sasha can carry her own. Anybody else in that spot against Sasha, I think, would have produced a better match. But credit where credit's due. I give a lot of crap to WWE. When we're talking about how they didn't take the women's revolution too seriously, and I think this was a nice touch that they got to main event at the very least.
Yeah, what's up, Kyle?
I saw it as something different. Do the McMahons really want to follow Enzo, Cass, and John Cena?
That's a fair point. That's a fair point.
Yeah.
So I saw it as more of a
downer.
Let's bring the crowd down a little bit so the McMahons can do what they do best.
Talk.
And it was great. I loved that segment.
Makes sense.
But that segment would not have meant as much to me if it had come right after Enzo, Cass, and John Cena.
Yeah, fair enough.
Makes sense. After the Enzo and Cass, I had to go probably to the bathroom and then maybe go get a drink or something, soda out of the fridge.
Well, by the time you blinked, you would have missed the match anyway.
Got back to the TV and realized that it wasn't Charlotte in the match. It was Dana Brooks, and then walked back to the bathroom again.
Oh, that ain't right. Respect to all the superstars and the women wrestlers in the world. Okay, so now we do have the final segment where... to me, there's really not much to say. I think I saw it coming 10 years away.
Yeah, I saw it coming too. It was obvious.
I knew Shane was going to be the... But here's a weird thing, is the general manager aspect. That was a weird thing because they led on the whole time that they're going to be the COOs, but they led on that they would kind of have that general manager role, like where they would be managing the brands. However, we found out last night that they're going to be the chief operating officers, or
no, they're going to be commissioners.
Commissioners, right. So they're going to be the commissioners of these shows, and then they're going to have the general managers. If this was their plan all along, right, why did they bring all the old general managers back to try and get this job?
Well, here's my thinking with the GM and the commissioner. Think of it as a sports league. You've got the GMs of individual teams that work trades and free agent signings and this, that, and third. And then you have the commissioner of the league that has like veto power and really controls everything, where it goes where, stuff like that. That's the way I'm kind of picturing it. So you have Shane as the commish. Let's use MLB as I don't know who the MLB commissioner is now. Let's use NBA as the metaphor. You have Shane as commish, similar to Adam Silver, right? You've got, I don't know, pick somebody out of the hat. Whoever the GM is, let's say it's Vicky Guerrero, she's the GM. You got Vicky Guerrero as the GM, who would be like the GM of the Golden State Warriors.
Yeah.
Signing everybody.
Well, I understand what they're doing. I'm saying, what was the point in having old GMs come back to try and get the commissioner or the commissioner roles in, if they already had this commissioner thing set into place?
So here's my thought process of they played it like that because everybody knew Shane was getting it. Yeah. Everybody knew Shane was getting one, Steph was getting the other.
Yeah.
Whether you weren't sure who was getting SmackDown or Raw, I think we all knew that. But everybody knew that those two were getting the spots. So now they've given you what you expect. But now they're going to drop but we're bringing the GM back in. Mm-hmm. And now you've had all these old GMs popping into your head of who could they be picking? Enough. Who could they be picking? Mm-hmm. And I hope it's none of them. I hope they bring in new, fresh people.
Yeah, same here.
But
you sure?
There's one person that I would like for them to bring back.
Go ahead.
Eric Bischoff.
I'm back. I am better than ever.
I think William Regal would be a great spot in there because of the NXT talent.
He's got a solid spot in NXT.
Yeah.
I don't think he'll be leaving NXT.
He won't.
It'd be interesting, but I don't think that's going to happen. Yeah. But that's the whole GM aspect of bringing everybody back. Remember Vince earlier in the night, he said, well, I might just change my mind. We need something new. Let's call him the commissioner. So, a few weeks back, they were still vying as there wasn't going to be.
They probably didn't even know what was going on.
Book him by the fly. I mean, that's WWE 101.
Yeah.
They do that a lot.
So, one thing that did stick out to me, other than what we already knew, what was going to happen, another thing was he did say the person that's going to be, of course, he holds on to Raw as the flagship promotion. Mm-hmm. But he also said 3-hour flagship promotion in it. So there's obviously going to be no change in 3 hours with the show. I knew that was going to happen. I knew that they were going to keep it 3 hours just probably because in their contract it's kind of what they're obligated to. However, there was a little hope in me that they would put it to 2 just because it is going to be smaller rosters to fill a already exhaustive 3-hour episode.
Counterpoint. Shane did mention, and it's not going to change necessarily the timing of the show and how long each show gets, but Shane did mention about wanting or being the person who kind of thought outside the box. So I'm really excited to see how SmackDown is going to be presented. Oh, by the way, the name is apparently SmackDown Live. I don't know if y'all caught that. SmackDown Live. Every time they mention SmackDown, Live was right after it. Mm-hmm. So we have Monday Night Raw, and that'll be the show for Monday, and then on Tuesday the official name will be SmackDown Live. That's my belief. But anyway, so Shane alluded to having some new visuals, whether it's something along the lines of a new set so we can differentiate the brands, even the ring ropes being a little different. Maybe they bring back the blue ropes for SmackDown, or maybe Kevin Dunn has nothing to do with any of the camera work, which let me tell you how happy I would be if that's the case. But stuff like that,
or a 6-sided ring.
Yeah, that might be a little.
Who's heard of that?
What? Brother Nero heard about it.
There's another promotion that does that?
I've never heard of it.
You've never heard of Broken Matt? And Brother Nero?
No, 6-sided ring.
I mean,
Main Event Mafia?
Let's do an 8-sided ring and just put a cage around it instead of.
Wait, whoa! Who does that?
I mean, Brock Lesnar.
I'm just being dumb.
Brock Lesnar?
Okay.
Why'd you question it? You never questioned Brock Lesnar.
A company that was just sold for $4 billion?
$4 billion.
$4 billion. All right.
Sorry.
So we have our that's Raw. I mean, that's Raw in a nutshell. Good talk on that. So moving on to our favorite segment. Literally, it's just, I don't know. We haven't really had a name for it. We'll just call it.
It's the favorite part of the show.
I don't know.
If there was a camera.
If there was only a camera. So, all right, this week. What are we doing this week, Mario?
Well, I figured since today is going to be our mock draft, as we teased a little earlier, and next Tuesday will be WWE's official brand split draft. We'd talk about some of our all-time biggest draft busts. Doesn't matter the sport. Any sport. Could be the NFL, could be MLB, could be NBA. Doesn't matter. So, Kyle, as you are the new one here, you get to go first.
I mean, I've got to go with the obvious NBA, Sam Bowie, drafted right between Hakeem and Jordan, and did nothing with his career. Like, drafted before Jordan, and did nothing.
Yeah.
It's got to be one of the biggest draft busts of all time.
You kind of have to feel bad for Portland. They had Sam Bowie, he ain't do nothing. Bill Walton, hurt his feet early on in his career. And they came out with Greg Oden when they could have had Kevin Durant. Portland might be a little snake bit.
Hey,
They
could have had Kevin Durant again if they had just had 4 other superstars to put him with.
I like the idea of Sam Bowie. I think some of our younger listeners probably, have no idea who Sam Bowie is. They know Michael Jordan as the crying meme.
Mm-hmm. That one guy that's better than LeBron.
The one guy.
That's what they know Jordan for.
Yeah. Josh, what are your thoughts?
My thoughts right now, dude. Honestly, I'm not even like a huge. Don't look at my computer screen, Kyle.
What are you Googling?
If there was a camera on Josh. All right.
So I'm not a huge sports guy. So
ain't nothing wrong with that, brother.
I'm typing in biggest draft bust of all time.
You said one that would have worked.
I did, but okay.
Did you forget?
I always forget which one it is, but what was it? David Carr or Derek Carr?
No, Derek Carr is currently the
Derek Carr, Oakland Raiders, right?
David Carr.
David Carr. He was number 1 overall pick, and he sucks.
That's a good one.
Yep.
That's a good one.
But if you would have given me a little more time to Google, I probably could have found something better.
I would give David Carr that he was the number 1 overall pick for the expansion team.
Yeah.
That had nobody.
Else.
Was he also their first player?
Yeah, I think he was actually.
So,
I'm gonna have to go with Ryan Leaf. Picked right after Peyton Manning. There was some serious discussion of Ryan Leaf being the number 1 pick that year. And could you imagine how different the NFL landscape might be had Peyton been selected by San Diego as opposed to Indianapolis coming out of college?
Ryan Leaf was number 2.
So was it Jamarcus Russell number 1?
No, he was number 2 draft pick. That's what I was going to say.
No.
Yeah.
It's Google, man. I'm in it. I'm in this.
Okay. All right.
Who was the number 1? Since you have the
well, this thing, Ryan Leaf actually caps the list.
Yeah, it's a good choice.
Hey, I mean, he went from being this fiery, competitive individual to out of football in 2 years, and then he popped back up, and they got pinched with steroids. I mean, seriously, give it another 2 years. I think Johnny Manziel is going to be in that conversation if he's not already in that conversation.
Yeah, he may already be in that conversation.
So anyway, those are the biggest busts that I feel like in sports in general. So,
Holla.
Yeah, if you hear me.
We just make random sound effects.
No, that was Big Papa Pump's entrance.
I'm pretty sure we just hope that they match sometimes, and they just don't. So before we get into the mock draft, huge draft. I've been advertising it on Twitter and Facebook for like the last, a long time. I even made a little logo.
A long time.
It was about a week. Shut up.
About a week ago.
So anyway, before we get there, we just have a returning segment, Josh's News Corner.
We need to get that recorded.
That was
pretty dope.
So I don't have much news because I want to get to the draft. I'm so excited. First things first, CWC, the Cruiserweight Classic, starts tomorrow night on the WWE Network.
There's your plug.
8 Central. So I look forward to it. There's going to be 4 dates that the tournament is going to take place on. I can't remember exactly when those dates are, but I'm looking forward to it. So much talent from all around the world. It's going to be worth a watch. If you don't have WWE Network, I would first ask, why not? $10 a month.
First month's free.
Yeah.
First month is free.
Don't even need a credit card now.
We are plugging away on this WWE Network. It's just so much content for such little cost. And there is even talk about, this is another piece of news, talk about increasing the price for WWE Network. Not any official news has come out yet, but they're talking about having different levels of tiers for
I'd
their
go as high as
WWE Network.
$14.99. Honestly, if I still get all of the pay-per-views, I'd do that $14.99 price.
And I don't think it'll probably be higher than that. It shouldn't be. But definitely they're talking about doing different level tiers for their service, which even $15 a month for everything that you get.
That would compete with like Hulu's commercial free, HBO. So it'd be right on par, especially for the content you're getting.
Yeah,
mainly the pay-per-views. I mean, they got all the extra shows, but in all honesty, the pay-per-views. I mean, one pay-per-view nowadays, $55 for an HD?
Yeah, it's crazy.
You know?
But you get to go back and like relive Monday Night Wars, and
I think they have all WCW Nitro episodes on WWE Network now. So it's there's a lot of
what I'm doing.
there's a lot of stuff to watch. I mean, they have over 1 million subscribers. We're talking if it was $5 more per subscriber, they're making bank monthly. So
Legends House was hilarious.
Oh
if you
man,
haven't seen it yet.
they said they're going to be Legends House 2. I don't know if that's completed.
Yeah, with Undertaker and CM Punk. That's the rumors
CM Punk that you just started.
So
I see it now on Reddit.
One last bit of news, which it's not wrestling related. It is sports related. Kind of is wrestling related. It has to do with Brock Lesnar. If you missed UFC 200, Brock Lesnar had a dominant performance over Mark Hunt. I mean, not everybody was a big fan of the match. Me, I was going for Brock Lesnar in that match. He just dominated. Yep. Took Mark Hunt to the ground willingly. Had a great ground and pound on the game. Really controlled the pace. And Mark Hunt, he's a heavy-handed hitter. And he was caught. Brock Lesnar did get caught and pretty much didn't face him.
You could see it in his eye, just the one that was purple in the interview afterwards.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, he ate it. He took his punishment. It wasn't as bad as people thought it was going to be, and I mean, he fought his fight. Is what he did.
He did. I mean, he played smart. He fought smart. I was the only one in the house going for Brock Lesnar at the party I was at. Just because I had to stick by my wrestling dudes, man. I had to.
And I'm sure you heard a lot.
I definitely thought he was going to have some ring rust. Like, going from WWE, which is super athletic, to UFC.
Well,
there's a difference, and he did.
Yeah. He just had to get acclimated.
Yeah, I think when he ate that first punch.
But after he took a couple punches, he seemed to click into this mode of like, oh yeah, this is what I've done.
And his slip when he went for his first takedown. Yeah, I was kind of like, oh, okay, that was interesting. But he bounced back, and that first takedown where he was relentless in his pursuit of Hunt and took him down hard. I mean, he did exactly what he was supposed to do.
I enjoyed it. And one more piece.
Which was a bigger takedown?
Go ahead.
Brock Lesnar taking Hunt down, or Stephanie McMahon's shoes trying to take her down?
Yes. Totally forgot about that.
That was great.
That was amazing. Shane McMahon's face.
I mean, between no selling the slap and then that face when she
the
almost
no
fell,
sell.
that was great.
Well, here's a big piece of information on the Brock Lesnar fight. Brock Lesnar became the highest paid guaranteed fighter. He had the highest amount of guaranteed money in UFC history. Mm-hmm. And the guy's not even a UFC fighter, really. And his match, just for showing up, it beat Conor McGregor's record. Brock Lesnar, just for showing up for the fight, $2.5 million just to show up. Just to show up.
I mean, they got that money now that they can spend around, so that's fine.
Yeah,
$4 bills. I mean,
yeah, he $2.5 million guaranteed, highest than any other fighter in UFC history. And we're talking about this guy is a main event draw, and he's not even a full-time UFC fighter. Which congratulations to him. They're saying that overall dollar at the end of the night is close to $7 million for that fight for Brock Lesnar. So it's also his birthday today, so happy birthday, Brock Lesnar, and enjoy your $7 million.
It's a nice gift.
And
yeah. So, anything else? Any other news that you guys might have?
I mean, it's not wrestling, but since we're talking about the $4 billion that UFC just sold for, Pokemon Go did just make Nintendo $9 billion.
That's true.
So
I've been playing that game.
Yeah. Between the server issues and everything, we've probably still logged in so many hours between the three of us.
It's been out, what, 4 days?
Well, I got it the day before.
Okay, so for me, it's been out 4 days, so I've got like 4 days time logged into it.
Yeah. Seriously, I've lost my phone many a times already. Just battery dying on me.
I need a battery backup.
I need like 4.
Yeah. Hashtag Team Instinct.
Yep.
Team Mystic. Let's go. Blue like SmackDown.
Wait, that doesn't match, I guess. So, okay, so moving on to the high point of the night, and I know this is probably like a long episode, but I'm pumped. We have a third guy. We have our mock draft. I am pumped, and so bring to you
Trying to see my draft board over here.
the 2016 Realest Guys podcast mock draft. I'm excited. So, on my left-hand side, you have Mario, the Wolverine, the Realest Commissioner, he calls himself. He's going to be heading up Raw. And on my right, you have Kyle Sly. He is the Commissioner, he calls himself. He's going to be heading up SmackDown.
Not a good commissioner. I'm not a bad commissioner.
He's
I am the commissioner.
Fair enough. So he's going to be heading up SmackDown, and I'm going to be your host, Josh Too Good Crocker. And so here's what we have. We did a little automation on the internets that kind of helped choose who was going to go first. And the very first pick of the 2016 Realest Guys podcast mock draft, man, that's a lot of words, goes to the Realest Commish of Raw.
With the number 1 pick, we select WWE Champion Dean Ambrose.
Whoa! He takes the WWE Champion.
It's predictable.
It is.
It's predictable.
Let's go to...
Good choice.
Let's go to SmackDown to the Commish.
Well, we got Shane McMahon. We're innovative.
No, we don't have Shane McMahon.
No, I have Shane McMahon.
No, you have Sly.
I have Shane McMahon. Okay. I am Shane McMahon. I'm
the McMahon.
I am Shane. Oh, and I'm sorry. Just for tonight's draft, the rules are pretty much WWE superstars, NXT superstars are available. We're doing 10 each.
Yep.
So we're not going to go through the whole roster, but we are doing 10 each. With that being said, the Commish.
So with my first draft pick, I'm thinking future. I'm thinking superstar. I'm thinking big fan base. I'm thinking we're going to release the Demon.
Oh, man.
Finn Balor.
And we're going to take Finn Balor as the number 1 draft
Balor, the Demon.
Really?
For SmackDown.
Nice.
Wow. Okay.
Number 1 pick.
I like
Number
that.
1 pick.
I like that.
I think he has it. He could compete with Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins.
I can dig it. So the number 1 picks are Dean Ambrose and Finn Balor.
I feel like we're gonna have NXT SmackDown live soon. That's what I think is gonna be happening over there on that side of the table. We'll see. We'll see.
There's some barbs right there.
It could be.
Could be.
I mean, he wants to talk about the future. That's all fine and dandy. But the man he just picked is like 5 years older than Dean Ambrose to begin with.
It's true.
That's a future there.
Already throwing bars.
On top of that,
number 2
pick. It's the yin to the yang. If you're taking Dean Ambrose, you got to take Seth Rollins, number 2 pick.
Wow. Raw takes Seth Rollins as number 2.
Seth Rollins. Well, let me change my draft board up a little bit now. That's a good pick. But if you're going to take Finn Balor as your number 1 pick, your number 2 pick has to be a guy with as many accolades around the world as him. Maybe they've even led the same faction. So let's throw AJ Styles.
AJ
Styles for the number 2. I
the
like
number 2
it.
pick.
There is a built-in rivalry right there.
Right there.
Yeah, that is a fantastic choice.
I liked it. I
think both shows already starting have great rivalries ahead of them. So moving on to number 3 for the real commissioner. Realest Commissioner. I'm sorry.
And with the number 3 pick, we're gonna we've got 2/3 of the Shield, right?
I saw this one coming.
That's all I need.
Okay.
With the number 33 pick, Raw selects Shinsuke Nakamura.
Ooh, nice. I can dig it.
That's cool.
King of Strong Style.
That is a great pick. Finn Balor's not much of a talker. AJ Styles is decent.
As a heel, he's really picked up his game.
But I want some talkers on my show. I want somebody who can control the crowd with his words. So with the third pick, I'm going to take the realest guy, Enzo Amore.
Woo! My name is Enzo Amore. I'm sorry, that was my impersonation. That was pretty bad. Okay, I like it.
That's interesting. That's an interesting pick there.
Number 4.
That's an interesting pick because with the fourth pick, Raw selects Colin Cassidy.
Woo! Splitting up.
I said it
duo.
earlier.
Hey,
He's heading his way to the top.
I think they both have rockets strapped.
Oh
to
hell
their
yeah!
back,
Oh definitely.
Enzo's going places as well.
I would, yeah.
They're going places together.
They are or separate. They're going to be going
separate.
somewhere.
Both of them are going somewhere.
Well, that's pretty. Yeah, that's high. Number 4. Impressive.
Got to get a little bit of age on my
A little bit of age.
some recognition.
Your first 3 picks.
They're all old, but they're all old, but some WE age,
Okay.
WWE age,
Okay.
some recognition. Plus, with Big Cass out of the picture, this is a guy that maybe doesn't partner with Enzo, but hangs out around him a lot.
Bill Buchanan. B squared.
Let's go John Cena.
Right.
Hey,
Okay.
He doesn't have many years, but
the face that runs the place.
He's the franchise.
he's the franchise. And he gives some validity to the guys that aren't really known to WWE fans. Not every WWE fan watches Finn Balor in New Japan.
That's a very good
Or
point.
watched AJ Styles in TNA or New Japan. So
I think Finn Balor and some John Cena matches would be.
that would be
that
great.
would be interesting.
Awesome.
Especially with this new, almost youthful John Cena that we've seen as of late.
Yeah.
Reinventing some of the moves he's done.
Springboard stunner.
That springboard stunner, when he came out with that for the first time, I was like, I could be a Cena fan again. Like,
I think what's really doing that for Cena, and I'm glad you mentioned that, is all of the new young talent that's coming through. Not even young talent, just the new talent that WWE is open. I mean, think about it. John Cena's had to work with all the same people for the last decade.
Yeah.
And so now he's getting all this new blood. I think it's even kind of, even though he's on his way out the door, he's still kind of feeling that revitalized. So let's go to our pick 5.
I mean, obviously. Bay. Kevin Owens.
Hey. KO.
it's a great choice.
Yeah.
For you, because
For you. I mean, there was no way I wasn't going to not draft him.
I hate that word. I hate that guy. It actually matches my 5th pick great, though.
Sami Zayn.
Because I'm taking Sami Zayn.
Nice.
There we go.
Nice.
Because
I mean,
I want people who are going to push the limits. I want people who are going to be innovative. I think Sami Zayn matched with Finn Balor, matched with AJ Styles. We've seen him match with John Cena. Like,
You have some exciting cards on SmackDown. You're going to have some exciting cards on Raw. But SmackDown's putting...
he's putting in work. He's putting in work. But he mentioned a word I liked. Innovative.
Innovative.
When I think of innovative, I think of some high flyers. Think of some of the smaller guys on the roster. All right. And I know he's near and dear to his heart.
For the number 6 pick. Who
Number
does Raw
6 pick. Adrian Neville.
you broke my heart.
Or just Neville now. It's
Well, I'm
just
sorry.
Neville.
The new
Neville.
sensation, the man that gravity forgot, Neville.
Neville.
My superhero.
Man, that's awesome.
Can I take Stephen Amell? Is that-
Is Stardust coming back, guys?
Very nice, very nice. For the number 6 pick, the commissioner, or commish, whatever you want to call yourself. SmackDown, what do you pick, man?
I was gonna pick Neville. That's a great pick. But you got AJ Styles. There's a guy on the WWE roster that's got great chemistry with Styles. We've seen championship matches.
Christopher Daniels?
I was thinking Samoa Joe.
Ooh, nice.
If you go back and look at any of their matches in TNA,
In what?
TNA,
What's that?
that's that weird one.
Tess and Albert?
That's that weird one where Jeff Hardy plays himself and his alter ego, and somehow they fight each other at the same time.
Now I want to draft Willow.
But yeah, so if you watch any of their matches in TNA, there's a great chemistry between the two of them. They put on some fabulous matches. So Samoa
Joe for the number 6 pick. I like it. Moving on, pick 7. Where's the realist commissioner?
See, pick 7. I mean, we're starting to. If the first 5 picks are at the top of the card, now we're starting to build up a solid mid card, right? Obviously, you're going to want a solid.
You can build up a solid mid card. All 10 of mine are going to be the main event roster.
Hey, listen, not everybody can main event. I'll tell you that much. You need a solid heel. You need a very good heel. You need somebody who can draw instant heat. And because of that, I'm going to take Rusev. Machka.
It's a good pick.
I like it. Great pick. Number 7 for SmackDown.
I'm going to take a guy that I think could be a great heel.
Okay.
And I want to be a great heel. So I'm going to take Roman Reigns. With the 7th pick.
Roman Reigns drops to number 7.
14 overall.
I'm not huge on him as a wrestler, but he does have that power to come in and be able to be a heel if they let him.
Fair enough.
I'm huge on him. His in-ring work is awesome. That's probably his best aspect.
Yeah.
It is.
But yeah, they got to let him come back and be a heel. And being on SmackDown, Mr. Shane McMahon. The commish.
Get it straight.
You can get it straight.
Terry Crews.
With that new twist, you can make it happen.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Make that man a heel.
Yep.
Let's go to number 8. What does Raw pick?
Number 8. We've got the WWE champ. We've got the US champ. I'm going to change the game here because we've been just going by singles and singles and singles. I'm going to introduce the first tag team to get selected together, and I'm going with the Club. Bringing the Club to Raw.
Bring the Club.
Can you select a tag team with one pick?
Why wouldn't we?
Let's do it.
Okay. Cool.
I'll take the Club.
Take the Club. The Club for your number 8.
That's interesting. I like it. Okay. I like it. That's a good pick.
What is number 8? Or what is a SmackDown pick for number 8?
I like that idea. I'm going to play off that idea. Nothing's thicker than family. So I'm going to take the Usos, and maybe we have Samoa Joe and Roman Reigns, and the Usos form some sort of like Samoan SWAT team.
Ooh, callback. I like it.
Or how about this? Or the Usos turn heel with Roman Reigns and have a heel bloodline faction.
That'll work.
That would work.
I don't think Samoa Joe initial run will be a heel. I mean, obviously you're booking the show, so you do you.
Maybe
you
not.
Do you, boo-boo.
He's been a great heel.
He has.
In his past, he's also been a great face.
Mm-hmm.
But even as a face, he has that.
He has that edginess.
I don't want to say Stone Cold-esque, but he, to a certain extent, he does have this like
Stone Cold and Jace.
Yeah, he does have this. Stone Cold was a face, but he was a very heelish face.
Yeah.
And Samoa Joe, a lot of times when he was a face in TNA or wherever he went, he had that like, I'm a face, but I'm rough around the edges. I'm gonna act a lot like a heel most of the time. You're just gonna love me for it.
Fair.
And I've been pushing for that since Samoa Joe got signed to WWE. That idea of a Samoan SWAT team coming out would be sick.
I like it. Number 9 for Raw.
Well, you said a word earlier. You said validity. You said you're gonna like me no matter what I do. And there's one person who does what he wants to do because he is who he is. And with the 9th pick, Raw selects the once and future UFC heavyweight champion, Brock Lesnar.
Brock Lesnar.
And we can deal with the fact that he'll be a part-timer.
He'll be great on those 2 episodes he'll be on for this year.
Hey, whoever beats him, no matter what show it'll be, gets the ultimate rub.
you mentioned the word future when you brought up Brock, and that's interesting because I'm always thinking that the future is now. So with my 9th pick, I think I'm going to take the new face of fear.
Wow, I like that.
And put Bray Wyatt.
I like that. Bray's a beast. I like Bray.
Notice that a lot of my stars can talk. Well. That's important to me as a U.S. wrestling company where this isn't New Japan. We don't.
Well, our guys can talk.
Yeah, they can.
I have Kevin Owens. He can talk for all of them.
Kevin Owens is top 5.
But here's the thing:
talkers in WWE right now.
You speak about talking, and we're in the 10th pick.
The final 10th pick before we select our general managers, we have the number 10 pick.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
And he's going there.
10. The perfect 10. Ty
Dillinger.
So
he's tearing it up in NXT right now.
That is a great pick.
He's actually kind of been losing a lot in NXT.
Doesn't matter.
But I'm at first I wasn't a big fan.
It's his connection to the fans.
I'm sold on him, man. I really like him.
You talked about making sure that your wrestlers can talk, and sure, talking is good. Talking helps you connect. Ty doesn't have to talk to connect. He's got that backing.
He does.
He connects with the fans, and
he is doing it big. He is. He's got a huge future ahead of him. As far as guys that have a huge future ahead of them, and then are just huge human beings in general.
Not the Big Show?
No.
Oh, okay.
He's a little bit smaller than the Big Show. He's been on with the Big Show in the last couple of weeks, though.
Okay.
But this is a guy who... He has the look that Vince McMahon wants, but he has the style that you don't really see in WWE. I'm going to go with Apollo Crews as my 10th pick.
Apollo Crews?
That ability to be a big man and then pull off backflips.
But he's not a big man.
He's
5'9".
He's not a big man in height. But look at his build and tell me he's not big.
He's Bobby Lashley fun size.
When have you seen anybody with that kind of muscle tone and definition do some of the stuff he does?
Bobby Lashley and Batista,
and then shrink him
to Josh's size. There's Apollo Crews, and that wasn't trying to be a short joke at all.
No, you're right.
I mean that's what it is.
He is not. But what does dude weigh?
He probably weighs easily
255, 260?
I would argue even more than that. I was thinking more 280, 290.
Probably
but
more.
But just, 3% body fat?
Yeah.
I mean, the man's cut like Terrell Owens was back in like 2005.
Cut like Terry Crews.
Titus O'Neil even.
Bobby
the interwebs say Apollo Crews is 6'1", 240 pounds.
240. He's a little bit taller,
He's
though.
Definitely not 6'1".
I didn't think he was 6'1". But
he's 6'1" the same way Rey Mysterio was 6 foot.
Rey Mysterio was never 6 foot.
The fact that
ever build.
The fact that Apollo Crews is just got the sheer muscle mass he does, and then you see him doing the press with the backflip, and then if you watch any of his,
even his sit down powerbomb.
Yeah, if you watch any of his independent stuff, he's got a lot of stuff that he can do from the top rope, and you don't really see that often in WWE. You don't see a big man that's got that kind of moveset.
Kane.
Ryback.
I thought you were going with that.
Rules.
Where'd you think I was going with that?
I thought you were going like Braun Strowman.
That would have...
I was thinking Luke Harper.
Luke Harper.
Pairing either of those with Bray is good, but there's still 30 people that are going to be on each show.
What made me confused, you said another big man. I was like, maybe Braun Strowman, and then you said he does stuff in the ring that isn't normally done.
And that's why I thought
Luke Harper.
And then I was
I can see that. No,
that's not Braun Strowman, so it had to be something else. Luke Harper.
Yeah, I'm not talking big in stature. I'm talking big in build. He is...
That man can't scratch his nose when he's got an itch.
Bro, I don't know if he could scratch anything. Like, just all of it. Can't reach nothing. But yeah, he's getting underused right now with a moveset that is phenomenal. So pairing him with anybody on the top 9 picks could make for great matches.
Who is going to be Raw's general manager?
See, I thought long and hard about it, and I figured the best way to do it would be to have somebody who the guys will look up to, somebody they can play off of.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's a couple ready-made feuds there. And it's going to be going back to the well, but Triple H is the general manager.
Triple H.
Triple H.
It's a Raw GM.
Well, that changes my mind. 'Cause honestly, I was going to pick Triple H because of the fact that the way he runs NXT.
Yep.
He can be very innovative, and I think he would do well with the roster that I put together. So this one will never happen, but for same reasons, I'm going to pull William Regal back up.
Nice.
Same reasons. He does a lot with NXT, and NXT is the new innovation. Like we're seeing the evolution of American wrestling.
Yep.
Through NXT. So if I can't have Triple H, I'll take William Regal to run the show.
I like it.
Fair.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, this was...
Boys and girls, children of all ages.
That's right. This was the 2016 Realest Guys Podcast Mock Draft. We discussed Raw. We introduced our third man. We want to thank you for listening. It was a long episode, but I had fun. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was fun.
So
We should do it again next week.
I'll be here. I can do it.
I don't think we should do it Tuesday, though. There may be something going down. Y'all may have heard of it, the draft. So going forward, starting next week, the episodes will be released on Thursdays.
That's right. Thursdays we will record.
So next week, look out for our episode number 7, right?
Yep.
This is 6?
I don't remember. I'm losing track.
Yeah, I think so. But be sure to check us out on Thursday. New time, same old greatness.
And that's pretty much it. So, hey, again, subscribe on YouTube, follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook, subscribe on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, wherever. Realest Guys Podcast, we will be there. I'm your host again, Josh Too Good Crocker, Mario, the Wolverine, holla, and then we got Kyle Sly. And so, thanks guys for listening. Holla.
Make sure y'all stay too sweet.
Too sweet.